tassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Pay homage to the Blessed One. Dear friends, today September 16, 2023 at Brahma Vihara Meditation Center. So I would like to deliver talk, the observing of mind objects. So yesterday I talk among the four foundation of mindfulness, right? So I talk about the three, and tonight I'm going to talk about the last one. So four foundation of mindfulness means we call in Pali Satipatthana Sutta. The Sutta means discourse. Satipatthana means four foundation of mindfulness. So Sati means mindfulness. Satipatthana, four foundation of mindfulness. The discourse means discourse. So Sutta means discourse. So the last one, the Blessed One talk about here, the five hindrances. So what I give you at the beginning to memorize it. So sensual desire, hatred, or ilul, or aversion, the meaning the same. Sleepiness and dullness, restlessness, anxiety, and doubt. Right? So these five are called the five hindrances. So today, he talk about here the five hindrances first, and then the four noble truths, the five aggregates, six sense bases, and then eventually he takes seven factor of enlightenment. So that's why the mind object is a little bit longer, detailed explanations. So I'm going to read and then what the Buddha said here, what the Blessed One said about the five hindrances in the Sutta number 10, the four foundation of mindfulness. So it will become very clear to you. So when you meditate, if five hindrances arise in your mind, what will you do? Right? So he said here, how does a person abide observing mind object as mind object? Here a person abides observing mind objects as mind objects in terms of the five hindrances. Okay? And how does one abide observing mind objects as mind objects in terms of the five hindrances? Here, there be sensual desire in them. A person understand. So when sensual desire arises, you know, you understand it, right? You must understand. That means you know it. There is sensual desire in me, or there be no sensual desire in them. They understand. There is no sensual desire in me. They also understand how there comes to be the arising of unreason sensual desire. Is it clear? Yeah. So that means when sensual desire arises in your mind, so you know it. When sensual desire doesn't arise in your mind, you know it. You understand it. What is unreason? That one arises to you. You know it. When sensual desire is not rising, you know it. So when sensual desire arises, what will you do that time? Yeah. Harmonious practice, right? Effort. You have to recognize it, release it, relax tension and tightness, and smiling, keep the wholesome thought as long as you can. So the rising of unreason sensual desire occur when one's mindfulness become weak. You see? Or disappear altogether. You are practicing loving kindness meditation. Your object of meditation is loving kindness. Radiate loving kindness to yourself and to your spiritual friend. So when your mind becomes weak and disappear from the object of meditation, so that time hindrances arise in your mind. Then the unreason sensual desire rises by itself. So when it arises, then you have to know it, you have to understand it, use the harmonious practice, then it will go away, disappear from your mind. Then you again come back, the object of meditation. How there come to be the abandoning of reason, sensual desire? By using the harmonious practice right about, okay? Then, and how there comes to be the future non-rising of abandoned sensual desire? Just stay on the object of loving kindness meditation. Stay radiating to yourself, to your spiritual friend. So this is the first one, sensual desire. The second one is the ill will, hatred or aversion. There being ill will a person, they understand there is ill will in me, or there being no ill will in them, they understand there is no ill will in me. And they also understand how there comes to be the rising of unreason ill will, and how there comes to be the abandoning of reason ill will, and how there comes to be the future non-rising of abandoned ill will. How you will do that? You only do, you can only do by seeing, and you see only by using the harmonious practice. When those things are arising in you, you just have to abandon it. How do you do that? Just become, just use the harmonious practice. Right effort. Ill. I am practicing now. I was angry in the past with my family members, with my friend, so that thoughts arising in my mind, just use the harmonious practice right effort. Then it will disappear from your mind. Okay? It will go away. So then you stay the object of meditation continuously. So now he's talking about sleepiness and dullness. But here, in this book, mentioned sloth and torpor. So I don't use this word. Instead of sloth and torpor, I use sleepiness and dullness. It's a much easier word, right? So when you meditate, you feel sleepy, and then dullness. I don't know when the meditation will be finished because I want to go home. This is dullness, right? So he has said, there being sleepiness and dullness in a person, they understand. There is sleepiness and dullness in me. Or there being no sleepiness and dullness in a person, they understand. There is no sleepiness and dullness in me. And they also understand how there comes to be the rising unreason sleepiness and dullness, and how there comes to be the abandoning of a reason sleepiness and dullness, and how there comes to be in the future non-rising and of abandoned sleepiness and dullness. This become very clear, right? This is because the hindrances. I already explained to you 6 days, most of the time, right? So now he's going to talk about even sleepiness and dullness when arise, just to use the harmonious practice again and again and again and again. So some people, they feel that, sleepiness and dullness, when I use that, I'm so tired. They feel that way. Bhante, when I should stop, So sleeping, these 5 hindrances will arise continuously in your mind until you attain the highest peace, Nibbana. Since I said last night, if you if you become enlightenment, the hindrances never arise in your mind, stop arising. So now he's going to talk about number 4, restlessness and anxiety. Okay? There being restlessness and anxiety in a person, they understand there is a restlessness and anxiety in me. Or there being no restlessness and anxiety in a person, they understand there is no restlessness and anxiety in me. And they also understand how there comes to be the rising of unreason, restlessness and anxiety, and how there comes to be the abandoning of reason, restlessness and anxiety, and how there comes to be the future non-rising of abandoned restlessness and anxiety. It's much become how arising, you know, you understand it, you observe it, then just use the harmonious practice to disappear from your mind. Then you come back again, the object of meditation, loving kindness. Okay? So, there being doubt, the last one. Last one is doubt. So, doubt about what? Doubt about teaching of the Buddha. Doubt what the Bhante is teaching. Doubt about what you are practicing. You know, some people just come here and then they think that I'm just wasting my time. They think that way, doubt arises. This meditation doesn't work. So I should not come anymore here. This is the last time. Doubt arises. So here see, there being doubt in a person, they understand there is doubt in me, or there being no doubt in a person, they understand there is no doubt in me. And they also understand how there comes to be the arising of unreasoned doubt, and how there comes to be abandoning of a reasoned doubt, and how there comes to be the future non-arising abandoned doubt. So for abandoning doubt is still the same things used in the harmonious practice, right? So this is the key, right? So as I said at the beginning, when sensual desire arises, hatred, aversion, or ill will arise, or sleepiness or dullness arise, or restlessness, anxiety arise, or doubt arise, you have to use the recognize it, release it, relax tension and tightness, smiling, keep the whole sambhara as long as you can. Easy, right? You already memorize it. One side, 5 hindrances, another side, harmonious practice, right? For that way, this practice is very simple, very easy to understand. Clear? Yeah. Now he's going to talk about insight, because the factors he mentioned, that there are 4 foundations of mindfulness, right? The first one he will talk about insight. Second one is the feeling. First one body, he also talk about insight. Second one is the feeling, he also talk about insight. And third one is the mind, he also talk about insight. And the last one is mind object. He's also going to explain about insight. So insight means vipassana. So vi plus passana, vi means various things. Passana means see. So when you meditate and then you can see various things arising, the wholesome things, you observe it, you know it, you understand it. So that way you have to continue step by step. So for the beginner actually it's very difficult to practice directly the insight. So here the Buddhas talk about, in this way one avoids observing the mind object as mind observes internally, and one avoids observing mind object as mind object externally. One avoids observing mind object as mind object both internally and externally. One avoids observing in mind objects their nature of arising. One avoids observing in mind objects their nature of vanishing. One avoids observing in mind objects their nature of both rising and vanishing. So when the rising, vanishing, this is permanent or impermanent? Impermanent. So and then avoid independent, not clinging to anything in the world, in this body. That is how a person avoids observing mind objects in terms of the 5 hindrances. So if anything arises in your mind, is arising, passing away, arising, passing away. I am not saying to rise, but it's still arising. I am not saying to passing away, but it's still passing away. So there is no control. Everything is impermanent. Impermanent. So what you have to observe? Impermanent, the truth. Okay? And now he is going to talk about the 5 aggregates. So what are the 5 aggregates? So there are 5 means 5 aggregates. Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, okay, you call Rupa is form. Vedana means feeling. Okay? Sanya, perception. Sankara, formation. And then Vijnana, consciousness. How many? 5. So he's going to explain now the 5 aggregates. Again, a person abides observing mind, observes mind, observes in terms of the 5 aggregates, affected by the craving and clinging. You see? What is the meaning of the craving? Craving means I like it, I don't like it. When sensual desire arises, I like it. I want to get it, I want to enjoy it. And when hatred arises, painful feeling arises, I don't want it because I don't want to suffer. So craving, I like it, I don't like it, mine is called craving, okay? And clinging, when your craving arises and then you hold it, you want to get it, you want to get more and more, then clinging will also arise. So that's why he said craving and clinging. Here, a person understands such is material form, such its origin, such its disappearance. So how many truth here? We have the Four Noble Truth, right? So how many truth you get it here? 3. Such is material form. 1. We say dukkha, right? Suffering, or origin of suffering, cessation of suffering, and then the path that leads to a cessation of suffering. How many? 4. So here said, such is material form, suffering. Here said, such is material form. That means among the Four Noble Truth, we got 1, right? And then such is origin, number 2. Such its disappearance, number 3. How many you got? 3. Such is feeling, 1. Such its origin, 2. Such its disappearance, 3. Such is perception, 1. Such its origin, 2. Such its disappearance, 3. You see, every aggregates. First Noble Truth, second Noble Truth, third Noble Truth. Could you see that? Such is origin, such is such is perception, such is its origin, such its disappearance. Such are the formation, such their origin, such their disappearance. Such is consciousness, such its origin, such its disappearance. You see this called the 5 aggregates. So every 5 aggregates, could you see the 3 Noble Truth? First one, second one, and third one. Could you see that? So you have to experience all those things. And then he's going to talk about, in this way one abides observing mind, observes as mind, observes internally. One abides observing mind, observes as mind, observes externally. One abides observing mind, observes as mind, observes both internally and externally. One abides observing in mind, observes their nature of rising, or he abides observing in mind, observes their nature of vanishing, impermanent. And they abide independent, not clinging to anything in the world means in the body. This is how a person abides observing mind, observes as mind, observes in terms of the 5 aggregates, affected by craving and clinging. You see? If craving and clanging arise in your mind, so you have to use the harmonious practice, right effort, then it will fade away. Now he is going to talk about 6 bases. So what are the 6 bases? Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. How many? 6. Again, a person avoids observing mind, observes mind, observes in terms of the 6 internal and external bases. And how does a person avoid observing mind, observes as mind observes in terms of the 6 internal and external bases? Here a person understands the eye, they understand forms, and they understand the fetter that arises dependent on both. They also understand how there comes to be the arising of the unarisen fetter. Okay, so here fetter means is called defilements. We can say that, all the negative things arise in your negative thoughts, arise in your mind. So use the harmonious practice that way. They understand how craving rises. It rises because the mind observing power is weak, and an unarisen fetter rises. When your mind is strong, hindrances, craving cannot rise in your mind because you are very careful, you are very mindful. Okay? So when your mindfulness is weak, then unarisen fetter arises in your mind. Craving arises, clanging arises because your mind is weak. So when your mind is not weak, then you are very careful. Hey, not come. It should not come in here. It should not rise in my mind. So you are very careful that cannot rise because you are very, very careful about it. So here he's talking about fetter. The fetter rises because when eye hits color and form, eye consciousness arises. This is called eye contact. With the contact as condition, eye feeling arises. With eye feeling as condition, eye craving arises. You see, one connected with another. One connected with another, right? So those things you can experience only through meditation. You just listen to talk and then, okay, I understand. No. When you meditate and you develop your meditation and then you, in a deeper level, then you understand what the Buddha talked about here. Okay? That's why it's not easy to understand. The craving is, as I said, I like it, I don't like it, mind. The fetter of craving arises because the meditator's mindfulness is too weak to see, and then the hindrances will arise. When your mind is very strong, so that way, craving, clanging cannot arise. So this is how the fetter arises dependent on both the eye and forms. This happens for every one of the sense doors, including of mind sense door. So how there comes to be the abandoning of the reason, the fetter? Use the harmonious practice, right? It's very simple. Here, harmonious practice. So how there comes to be the future non-arising of the abandoned fetter? Same things. One understand the ear. So this is the same things what I said. This is done only by using the harmonious practice, right foot, right foot, right foot. So that way, all the hindrances will be weaker. Day by day. But don't want to get it within short time. Okay, respect. If you think that I want to get it within 10 days, you are increasing craving. Right? Don't expect that. Just let it be. You use the harmonious practice. Now he's going to talk about ear. One understand the ear, they understand sounds, they understand the fetter that arises depend on both. And they also understand how there comes to be the rising of unarisen fetter, and how there comes to be the abandoning of the arisen fetter, and how there comes to be the future non-arising of the abandoned fetter. Still the same things. Use the harmonious practice that. One understand the nose. They understand orders and they understand the pattern that arises dependent on both. And they also understand how there comes to be the arising of unreason pattern and how there comes to be the abandoning of the reason pattern and how there comes to be the future non-arising of abandoning pattern. One understands the tongue. They understand flavor. And they understand the pattern that arises dependent on both. And they also understand how there becomes to be the rising of unreason pattern and how there comes to be abandoning of the reason pattern and how there comes to be the future non-arising of the abandoned pattern. So one understands the body. They understand tangible. Tangible. And they understand the pattern that arises dependent on both. And they also understand how there comes to be the rising of the unreason pattern and how there comes to be the abandoning of the reason pattern and how there comes to be the future non-arising abandonment pattern. The same things when you realize the harmonious practice, right? For then it will be disappear and then you will come back again the object of loving kindness meditation. We understand mind, the last one, mind. They understand mind objects and they understand the pattern that arises depending on both. And they also understand how there comes to be the rising